Hello, everyone. This is Truby Chiavello. I'm the publisher and editor of Primo Magazine, and I want to wish everybody a happy St. Joseph's Day. And before that, of course, happy St. Patrick's Day. Today is March 18th, and I'm coming to you from Washington, D.C., with another case of Columbus's revenge. That's right. Columbus's revenge. That occurs when we have a mayor of a city or a leader of some sort of municipality that decides to just plow ahead without any indication of any sort of movement towards common ground with the Italian American community, and just goes ahead and removes a monument of Columbus, or removes his statue, or goes ahead and replaces Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, without any effort to seek common ground, to seek compromise. And we saw this happen this month when Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, she lost re-election, the first time in 40 years that a sitting mayor of Chicago was not going to be reelected by the people. And that was because not one, but three statues of Columbus were ordered tore down by her in 2020. It was in July 19th, 2020, when she had promised the Italian American community that she wasn't going to do that. Well, she suffers Columbus revenge because now her political career is all but over. Now, the second case of Columbus's revenge occurred this past week, when reports came out that the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, had been a victim of a scam. This was a very embarrassing, humiliating situation because it was so easy to figure out that Mayor Baraka and the city of Newark were being fooled. Back on January 12th of 2023, Mayor Baraka signed a exchange cultural agreement, a sister city agreement, with the nation of Kailaasa. This is the United States of Kailaasa, and it's touted as a Hindu nation. Well, Mayor Baraka and his staff formed a sister city agreement, and there on January 12th in City Hall, he had a ceremony where he said, and I quote, with the representatives of this country, that I pray that our relationship helps us to understand cultural, social, and political development and improves the lives of everybody in both places. Well, Newark is a real, actual place, but the country of Kailaasa is not a place. It's totally fiction. It's about as real as Bigfoot. And that came to light sometime after, and no such nation exists. He was the victim, the mayor was the victim of a con artist by the name of Nithanja Paramishifiva, I think is how I pronounce his name. He's wanted by the authorities in India for fraud and for rape. And this was the group that scammed Mayor Baraka. This is not surprising. If you did a Google search, you would see that there's this person and his team are very savvy when it comes to the website. When it comes to the internet, they have a number of displays there. Which, nevertheless, you could still tell that it was fake. But apparently he didn't even make a Google search. They didn't even try to investigate whether or not this country had existed. Now, he says, Mayor Baraka, that after this came to light, that, oh, don't worry about it, no money was lost. Well, I doubt that. Usually in these sorts of scam operations, they do so for some sort of remuneration, some sort of money. So it's probably, I think it's worthy of investigation to figure out if anything was actually lost. But this is to be expected. I mean, the irony is just incredible when you think about it, that Mayor Baraka, he removed the Columbus Monument there in Washington Park at 620 Broad Street in Newark. And this is a statue that was donated to the city of Newark by the Italian American community. Italians used to be the number one ethnic group in Newark. About 100,000 of them lived there at one point in time. This is back in 1927, that a very beautiful bronze statue of Columbus by Giuseppe Giochetti in Rome was given to the city. And he had that removed Mayor Baraka had that removed in June 2020. And there's actually two statues there in Newark. One was by Cicchetti. Another one was located near the offices of the Italian Tribune. And the publisher of the newspaper, Buddy Fortunato, was able to retrieve that statue. We commend him for that. But Mayor Baraka decided to then go ahead and change the name of Washington Park to Harriet Tubman Park. And then he promised that he was going to replace the statue with a depiction of a monument paying tribute to Harriet Tubman. Now, the Italian American community, we have no problem with paying tribute to somebody as worthy as Harriet Tubman. But we do think it's wrong for you to tear down our statue and tear down our monument of a hero of ours. And other people felt that way. The New Jersey State Historical Preservation Office, headed there by Flavia Alea, had rejected what Mayor Baraka wanted to do because she thought it was divisive. And that's when the Columbus Monument Corporation, under the leadership of Angelo Vivolo, came in to try to work out some sort of compromise. Now, this is where it gets, people need to know. The compromise was to allow a statue of Harriet Tubman with also a statue of Columbus. And the Italian American community would help the African community there in Newark and Mayor Baraka and others to raise the funds and to try to help build this monument. And that was rejected by the mayor. Now we do the same thing in Pittsburgh. You see the same thing happening in Syracuse and other places where the Italian American community will reach out, offer an olive branch, and say, hey, look, let us keep the Columbus statue and we will help you erect a statue of a figure that's of importance to your side. And the mayors reject it at all times. I don't know if our adversaries reject it per se, but the mayors and the people in charge of these cities reject it. So there's just no effort on the part of common ground. Now, Mayor Baraka took it one step above in a very spiteful act last year in the dead of night. The statue had been removed back in 2020, but in 2022, he just went ahead and he demolished the pedestal. Now, the pedestal had bronze plaques and bas-relief depictions of Columbus, of his discovery. It was depictions of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella with Columbus and what have you. And that looks like that was destroyed. The pedestal, the concrete support was destroyed. And I'm not sure if the plaques were kept. I doubt that very much. I think they were also destroyed. This is very sad. And the statue was supposedly, the actual statue of Columbus was supposedly in a safe storage. This is what Mayor Baraka had said. But a person had taken a video showing that the statue was there, laying in the ground in a lot of some sort of workshop there in Newark. And so if this, we weren't sure if this was an accurate photograph, but it looks like it. And that also had considerable consequence on social media. A lot of people raised protest of it, and it was actually on the TV news. But this has been the approach of Ras Baraka. He's 53 years old. He's been elected there at Newark in 2014, reelected in 2018, reelected in 2022. And all he does is shows a sense of divisiveness, anger, and spite towards the Italian American community who did nothing to him. No one ever hurt him. And yet he has this anger and this resentment towards them because in this case of the statue, he showed no means of reaching any sort of common ground with the Italian American community. So he went ahead and Newark, they hired an architect. I believe this was paid from city funds to erect a statue of Harriet Tubman. And it was unveiled It was unveiled on March 9th, 2023. Queen Latifah was there, and Mayor Baraka made a quick speech. He said basically that this statue is by no means telling people they shouldn't celebrate Columbus. We're just saying not to make us celebrate him as well. Well, if we take that lead from him, basically people can say that we don't want to celebrate holidays or heroes of other ethnic groups. And that's no way to be either. We should all respect each other and respect each other's heroes. And for somebody who is the mayor of a city to say this, I think is very troubling. But Harriet Tubman is worthy of a statue, worthy of a monument. She was born in 1822, died in 1913. Her birth name was Amarita Ross in Maryland, and she married a man who was free. He was a freed slave, last name Tubman. But because she had been a slave, her children were going to be in bondage. And so the plantation owner was supposed to free her. He died, and she decided not to wait. And she decided to escape, and she did with her brothers. And she helped to free other slaves over the years. She probably freed up to maybe 60 people in the Underground Railroad. Now, some people think she invented the Underground Railroad. She really didn't do that. That had been done in earlier years by Quakers. She considered herself a conductor. That's what they referred to. And the Underground Railroad was not an actual railroad, and it wasn't underground. It was a set of safe houses from the Deep South to where the slaves could be free. And she was part of that. And the architect that was hired, her name is Nina Cook John. And this is not a critique of her work, critique of her abstract work that she's done. I think they're very nice, actually. But the statue that was unveiled on March 9th, 2023, was really just it was a base, and so a relief of Harriet Tubman. But then it's just kind of like hollow steel girders. That's really what it is. And the girders go into some other place, and you're supposed to walk under them. And abstract art is good. I like it, but I don't know if it's the best thing when you want to depict a historic figure and try to, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people will wonder, who this person was or the actual legacy of them. And the statue needs to capture that. That's why if you have a three-dimensional rendition of it in the classical sense, in the tradition of the Renaissance, I think it's better. And so this is just kind of a hollow outlook of it. And I don't think that's worthy to her, and I don't think it's a good replacement of the Columbus Monument. What should have happened, I think, is you should have had two statues there, one of Columbus in the neoclassical design, and one of Harriet Tubman also in the neoclassical design, so you can see the figures. You can grasp their historical significance. The wrong way to go is to go the way that Mayor Baraka went, which was to tear down a statue, obliterate the pedestal, basically say to the Italian American community, you're not welcome in Newark. We don't care about your contributions. We don't care about the statues that you gave us, the monuments that you gave us. We're going to tear them down. We're going to put them in an empty lot someplace. And that's what it's going to be. And not to work out any compromise, and then to go ahead and not erect a statue of worthy of the people's legacies, of statues that depict people. Instead, do some sort of abstract, allegorical image, I think is also not worthy of it. So we have just a situation here in Newark, and Newark has seen its better days. It's an important city to me because that's where my family and I used to go to the beautiful cathedral there for midnight mass and for Easter mass. And there was still the Italian American community was still there. The city had suffered terrible after the 1967 riots. Never really came back after that. And although it's made some forward steps, it's made some backward steps to equalize it. And this is unfortunate. And this is just one example where a mayor of a city who could do a lot of good decides to take a divisive approach, a mean-spirited approach, and create something far worse than what was there before. And so that, I think, is too bad. But it's all part of the situation with Columbus and the spirit of Columbus. When you go against him, you suffer. In his case, he suffered terrible embarrassment and humiliation when he made a sister city agreement with a nation that doesn't exist. And perhaps if he followed the lead of Columbus, he would have realized that geography, look at maps, to consider the countries of the world, also to consider the countries that don't exist. And if he took Columbus's lead, he would probably figured out this problem before we had a signing ceremony in January in Newark. So Columbus's revenge happens, and it's going to happen to other mayors and city leaders who decide to plow ahead and not try to reach commonality, common ground, understanding. So we will probably have other episodes to come as we continue this to record this controversy, to cover it. It's ongoing, and we'll have more episodes like this. Anyway, please like my video, please subscribe. This is Tribute Chiavello, publisher and editor of Primo Magazine. And again, I'm wishing you a happy St. Joseph's Day. God bless you. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you.